Choppers, better cook those wrists. Cold blood on my fists, we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. Always to the field and then I won't deny.
We're in the middle, Perez joining him, in it goes towards Olivier Giroud! The corner, not about to strike, what a goal that was! It's out, Chilean takes, oh!
Here we are, people. Good evening to everyone in the chat. Big up to all of you that's been waiting behind. We're a bit late, but lateness is greatness. So here we are. It is the all-star panel, as I'm naming it. Big up to everyone on here. Of course, got the wonderful Lee Gunner, Jez and Kenny Ken. It's the dynamic four here, and we're going to have a great podcast. It's going to be fantastic. But before we start, please do hit that subscribe button and like button. I believe we're about 100 away from 1K, which is just madness, and all of you are absolutely amazing. But we're going to get into it, straight into it. There's lots to talk about tonight. Lots have come out today. But we can't do a podcast without talking about the North London derby. I mean, what a game. My favourite in the calendar. I know I absolutely look forward to it every time. It's the first game I look at. And it was a great game. 3-1. And we absolutely smashed them. I still don't think they found Son and Kane yet. So all is well. All is well. But I'm going to come to you first, Lee. What were your thoughts on the game? I mean, what players stood out to you the most, would you say?
Definitely Saliba. I gave Saliba man of the match. Myself, Xhaka again. I think he's been our player of the season. Jesus is just a menace. The guy just don't stop running, and he's so clever with the ball. Like there was a time in that game where he was shielding the ball. I think it was Romero he was up against, and he just spun. I was like, this is not a small player. You're doing this up against a big physical player. It's so strong, it's deceiving. I thought Martinelli was quality. Absolutely ruined Richarlison at one point where he stood him up and then just scoops it past him. So yeah, I actually thought the whole team played very well. The two players that I don't think were on the same level were Gabriel Magalhaes and Odegaard, but that's not to say they were bad, because they weren't. But they just weren't quite on it. Although soon as Gabriel gave that penalty away, I thought he played a lot better. So yeah, I thought it was a great performance. We know we're going to beat him every year. Let's be real. It's a different story at their ground, of course. So we're not going to get as cocky as they were getting when it's the return fixture. We're just all going to keep it zipped and wait until the game finishes before we say anything. But yeah, they like to chat a lot, and every year they leave before 70 minutes. Like last year, Toby was walking out after 44 minutes. 44-minute toes. This year he didn't go, probably for the best. But their end was empty after I think the Royale sending off on 68 minutes or whenever it was. It was literally a fire drill. So yeah, maybe next year they should just zip it and see what happens. But I thought we were superb. We've been superb all season. Let's be real. And I liked the fact that we scored that goal. What a goal it was from Partey. Yeah, but it weren't like the energy. Everyone's like rushing. You've just scored. We're 1-0 up. The crowd. But big up to Granit Xhaka, because he ain't my favourite player. Far from it. But he got everyone into a huddle. Yeah, and got them all there and was basically saying, "Yo, calm down. Keep your heads. Don't do anything silly." Which is kind of funny and ironic for him being the player to say it, but it worked, and they were great. So yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Jez, I'll ask you the same question. What was the players that stood out to you most? I mean, mine was Xhaka. I gave Xhaka man of the match, but there's across the board, it was a fantastic performance. But who's that one player that you thought, okay, wow, you really put in a good shift?
Granit Xhaka, my most beloved player. I don't know why people think I don't like him. No, if he's serious. He's having a great season thus far. And I hope it continues. Arteta's got him in a position. He's playing as an attacking midfielder. I totally agree with Lee and Kenny when they've made these comments that keep him away from our defensive line, and he's a decent player. My man of the match, Could have been one of 3 players. Could have been Saliba. Could have been Xhaka. Could have been Partey. I gave it to Partey purely and simply because of his goal. But who knew we had this amazing central defender that we bought 4 years ago, was it? 3 years ago? And we played him for 45 minutes against Milton Keynes Dons, and then we bang him out. Was that a good move? I don't know. I'm not that technically minded to know enough about football to make that decision. But what I'm seeing at the moment, I love it. I love it. This is all we've asked for the last 16 plus years. All we've asked for is Arsenal to deliver. And at this point in time, I have to admit, Arsenal are delivering. So I'm happy. And what I'm seeing of this squad is excellent. But my big fear is, and we've discussed this, so I won't go deep in it, is we have a very, very shallow squad. We only need a couple of key injuries and we're in trouble. We don't have the backup facilities to fulfill the potential that we are shown at this point in time. And that is my main concern. That's it.
No, absolutely. We will get onto that shortly, of the point you made there. But last not least, Kenny, what was your? I mean, you were at the game. You felt the atmosphere. I mean, North London derbies. We know there's no atmosphere like it, and it really does push on the team. Again, I'll ask the same question to you, so it's fair. I mean, who was that one player that when you were looking out on the pitch, you know, when you're at a game, you're looking and you don't see absolutely everything. So it's those key players and those key moments. So what do you think? Who stood out the most? I mean, there's plenty to pick from.
You know what? We always raise our game in North London derbies because of the fact that you know, the crowd were just fantastic. You know, I'm never going to tire of talking about the Ashburton boys. You know, they were just fantastic. Got us whipped up, but they've been fantastic all season. You know, the players are giving us a lot of entertainment, and the crowd are returning it in droves. But in terms of like the players, who stood out, some really good performances. Really, really stellar performances. But I think the guy that made us tick and won us the game was Thomas Partey. I might grant Xhaka down because I think in all the sort of celebrations, we seem to forget that he was partly responsible for the second goal because, you know, when it came to his part to clear his lines, he decided to dilly-dally and got robbed. But, you know, we let him off anyway because he's had a really good season. But, you know, he was part of that time when Spurs were getting into the ascendancy because we let him back into the game. But, you know, Thomas Partey, what a find. We've finally seen his form from Atletico Madrid, and we're just seeing the full package. Keeping him fit is going to be something that we're going to need to do, but the way he plays, you know, physically as well, I think if we can get, you know, 30 games out of him this season, you know, if we shake his hand, and preferably 30 league games, because that's probably going to be what we're going to get, because the way he plays, the fact he puts everything into it, the physicality as well, he is going to pick up injuries. So, as Jez says, you know, the squad is very thin, and we have got to look at bolstering those areas where there are still concerns. We still want orthodox players eventually, because right now we're playing really well. We don't know how the season's going to pen or how it's going to end. But one thing is, if we are going to be challenged for that league, we're going to need a midfield alongside Thomas, and also the right back situation, as well as Benjamin's doing. I still would like, you know, a proper right back to play in that position, and then we move best way. Benjamin, shake his hand. He was brilliant today. He was brilliant on Saturday. A lot of the players were brilliant. Saka, you know, he wanted it. He wanted it. He wanted to be a part of it. You know, he played well last season, so he wanted it. So, you know, nothing like a North London derby to get our players really, really up for it. And, you know, the fact that Spurs smashed us to pieces at their grand. But just so that we perform like that in the return game, because, you know, they're going to have the 62,000 fans. They're going to have the atmosphere on top of us, and their players are going to be the ones going to be up for it. So it's how we cope with that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And on Saka, it's been quite interesting, because I've actually not been a huge fan of him this season. He's annoyed me to no ends with his I think across the board we look more like a team. I'm seeing more of a team play, and we just look more connected as a team. But Saka, on the other hand, has been winding me up because I just get the sense that he's always going for glory. He's always going for a goal. And some of the mistakes he was making were costing us because Spurs could go on the counter or they would because he would lose the ball when he could have passed it. He could have switched it. And now, obviously, today it's come out about rumours of a new contract. This contract is ridiculous as well. I think it's 180k a week plus add-ons. For a guy that I would say did contribute a lot last season. I was having this debate last night on a different show, and I just don't see. Obviously, he's important, but he's the poster child. He's this, he's that, and he's more of like a guy that you put on the billboards. But this season, I'm not seeing what I want to see. Lee, I want to come to you. What are your thoughts on Saka? Like, has he been not at his best this season? Why? Like, for me, he's just not cutting it at the moment, and there's no one to replace him or push him. You're on mute. You're on mute.
You wouldn't know I'm an experienced streamer, would you? Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
We missed a trick really because we got rid of Pepe and never replaced him. So now Saka, it's all on his shoulders again on that side. I think we've seen that Marquinhos probably isn't ready yet, although he did score a good goal in the Europa League. We'll probably see him again tomorrow, but I don't think he's ready for Premier League yet. But in terms of Saka in this contract, it makes sense to me, if I'm honest, that they're going to give him all that money. If you look at all of the players in and around us, i.e. the top six in that position at Tottenham, Kulusevski's got to be on 100 grand plus. Mahrez will be on 100 grand plus. Salah's on ridiculous money, but obviously he bags a lot of goals, so I get that. If you look at Chelsea, Ziyech is probably on about 100 grand plus. You know, Foden, I don't know what he's on, but he can play on the right. Bernardo plays on the right at Man City as well at times. So I think if you're going to be a top player, and let's not forget, he's been our player of the season twice in a row. Yeah, when we've not been great. And for somebody so young to be, he's hit and miss at times. I'll give you that. He is hit and miss because he's so frustrating at times. But I also think not having an overlapping fullback don't help him. You know, when the one time Ben White got overlapping him in that Tottenham game led to Jesus' goal. Yeah, because he overlapped him, took a defender away, Saka dips inside, shot, parried, bang, goal. Yeah, but I think that was one of only 2 or 3 times Ben White did it in that game. And I don't know if that's an instruction from the manager, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help his game. He's always isolated 3 against 1, 4 against 1. Yeah, and I think that's why he's become, like you said, a little bit frustrating in terms of trying shots from everywhere. Because he's frustrating to watch cross a ball at times as well, because he's literally that far away from a player and he's trying to whip a ball around him. As soon as you stick your leg up, it's hitting the like. He's not the only one, by the way. Premier League players in general can't cross a ball. Like they stand 1 yard away and try and whip it. It's like you're never going to get that. It's a percentage thing, I think. Like try and cross it. It might go for a corner. We score off the corner. How about keep the ball? Keep the ball, work the angles and stuff like that. But I do think for the amount of money we're going to give him, that's a lot more pressure. He's already had pressure of playing for Arsenal. He's already had the pressure of the number 7 shirt. He's already had the pressure of when we're in the doldrums, like the last couple of seasons, he's had to pull us out and try and do something. So I think he can deal with it. But as we've seen, a lot of players over the years, they get that big paycheck and it all goes wonky. So I don't think he will fall off, but I don't think he's been great this season. I think that's because he's played way too many games, like for England and for Arsenal. There's no competition. Yeah, and I'm not saying that he's slacking and he's, well, don't matter, I'm going to play every week anyway, because I don't think he's like that. Yeah, but it catches up with you. We were talking about this on the podcast the other week, that there's players like Rooney and Michael Owen, they were finished by the time they're 28, 29. Yeah, because they've played so many games. Yeah, their ankles are done, their knees are done, they can't run anymore. Yeah, and I just fear that unless we go and get someone to help him out, he's going to be the same by the time he's 28, 29. He'll be completely dusted. Yeah, whether that's at Arsenal or whether that's somewhere else, I don't know. But I think 180, it's a lot of money. But how much is he worth if he was to sell him once we strap him up to that deal?
Yeah.
100 mil? So it's a risk. It is a risk. Yeah, like who knows? He could go and have a career-ending injury tomorrow night if he plays. Yeah, he might sign the deal today. He might have already been signed. We don't know. And then that's it. Finished. So it's always a risk. But I think it makes sense. I don't think anyone at the football club other than Jesus is on 200 grand a week. I think we've got rid of them all now. So kind of makes sense that he's the poster boy for Project Youth and he's going to be the 200 grand a week man. And then if we sell him, we're going to get top dollar anyway. So that is what you call protecting the value, not signing Rob Holding up, who was worth peanuts and giving him a big deal. Yeah, to protect his peanuts value. Yeah, that for me would be smart business. And yeah, I think his performances since he broke in under Emery probably warrant a lot more than the 30, 40 grand a week he's been on. Yeah. So I think it's only fair that he gets a contract. There you go. Clip that and put that on your Twitter accounts.
Oh, we're all positive. Oh, believe it or not, we actually care.
That won't get any traction from him, so they won't bother.
No, exactly. People, guess what? We like Arsenal. We like the club. So we're giving praise where it's due. We're winning. We're merch. We're contributing. We're contributing to the merch. Well, I didn't pay for it, so I didn't contribute. So there we go. But it's exactly what you said, Lee. Like, he has done a lot. And I feel like he does need to up his game. And I don't feel like he's being pushed enough. I mean, we got rid of Pepe. Pepe's not here at the moment. And that, you know, we all know the whole Pepe saga with Arteta and how he's pretty much been outcasted. And it's a shame because I feel like he could have actually, you know, been the backup or pushed Saka on more. But Kenny, I'll come to you on the Saka contract. What is your opinion on him this season? Because we know my opinion. I mean, I have slated him a couple of times this season for some of his performances, and he's not to the standard I would expect. But you know, what are your opinions on him this season, and does it warrant that contract based on this season?
I think what's happening is that, you know, as we spoke before on other podcasts, and you know, collectively amongst ourselves, you know, when Arsenal were Mikel's first few teams, not the team that won the FA Cup, the team after that, you know, he probably didn't have the bodies that, you know, that we're used to now and the bodies that we're enjoying at the moment. So he had, we all said it, he had very, very limited tactics. And the fulcrum of those tactics was Saka and to a certain extent Smith Rowe. And then Saka was just all over the place, you know, doing basically playing the same way that they were accusing of, you know, accusing Guendouzi of being anywhere but his position. So I think what's happened this season is that we've got better players, and the team's kind of moving away from Saka. Like it wasn't like last season. Give the ball to Saka, we'll you know, he'll win us the game for us, which he did in quite a few occasions last season. He was a top goal scorer, so was Smith Rowe. So the players that we were looking to last season was Saka and Smith Rowe, hence the song. This season, you know, his performances haven't been the greatest. A lot of it is down to fatigue, but the fact that the team's evolving away from him, and he, you know, in terms of that, he needs to keep up with the way things are going. We're playing a lot down the sort of left-hand side now because with Martinelli, and you know, Jesus is going, and then we've got Zinchenko and who's very prevalent as well, coming to the midfield, and Xhaka likes to take that left-hand position. So a lot of our great, beautiful work is coming down the left-hand side. So sometimes to get involved, Saka's got to switch wings. So but down that right-hand side, Lee's right. I've always said, you know, when you're an inverted winger, don't take it too literally. You know, strikers are so used to you coming, you know, onto your left foot. What about trying to develop a right foot so you can put a cross in? Because they're not expecting that no more. They don't even defend that. They're expecting, you know, your right back to do the overlap because that's how the game's involved. But I do think that inverted wingers like Saka get a right foot. If he gets a right foot and works in it, he's smashing it. He could be a top player because he wants a situation where defenders don't know what he's going to do. What's helping him now is that because he's so quick and he's got quick feet, defenders struggle to cope with him because he can, you know, those quick feet can get him in a box, draw a foul, or he'll get a shot and go. So his pace is really helping him at the moment, but he needs to evolve his game. In terms of contract, Arsenal be fools not to give him a contract because a lot of contractors do his image rights because, you know, if you go by last season, player of the season, as Lee says, in the last 2 seasons, in terms of image rights, the fact that a lot of our fans, especially the fans in the UK, they like local players like Saka and Smith Rowe. They like the players, you know, players they can identify with because they think that well, they were goonies growing up. Probably weren't, but you know, I'll get my drift. The same thing with Jack Wilshere, West Ham fan, but everyone thinks he's like Goonies, one of our own. Couldn't be anything further than the truth. So to give him that contract, I do understand it in terms of the image rights. Another thing as well is that Arsenal don't want to get in a situation we had with Arsene, where our better players were coveted by clubs who could pay them more money, and clubs who are in the Champions League and can actually not just win the league, but win the Champions League as well. So the more they're going to pay, you know, an England international as well. Because remember, a full England international, you know, his contract goes up. So we're talking image rights, full international. The fact that, you know, other managers will be covering them. Klopp will probably think, you know what, I could have him at, you know, Liverpool. Don't know what Pep's thinking, but I know Klopp. And you know what Chelsea are doing. They'll buy everything and everybody, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we've heard rumours about Martinelli, that, you know, that his contract's a bit dodge, and that Chelsea might have a bit of a sniff. So you have to protect your young players, you know, because when they come through the academy, yeah, of course you've got, you know, you're going to give them academy wages, and their first wage is going to be like academy wage. They're going to be the lowest paid. But as the reputation goes up, the Emirates rights, England international appearances, you have to pay him that money. And you know, his agent would be an absolute pork chop if he didn't ask for 180 to 200. It'd be a fool, because I'll be doing that if I was his agent. I'll be banging the drum. I'll be saying image rights, England international, Man City are after him, Real Madrid might want him. So Arsenal got to pay for, because they believe he's going to evolve in the next few years. So for them, it was a no-brainer, and they had no choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Jez, any thoughts on Saka and his new contract?
Yeah, good luck to the young lad. He's worked hard for it. He played very well last season, and he deserves it. I can't deny it. So big up to him. I just hope it doesn't affect his mental status of, as Lee made the comment of, we've seen this happen with some of our players, namely Ozil, Aubameyang. They get lazy. I don't think he will, because he's a young lad. He's got ambition. He does frustrate me, though, at times.
Yeah.
I made the statement on Lee's fan cam of the game against the Spuds that, you know, why are you trying to chip the ball over a 6'4" defender? It ain't going to happen, man. You know, you can't stand off a player and try and play that nonsense. And that is what frustrates me. He does all the hard graft. He gets into position, he does the work, then tries to do something stupid and loses the ball, puts us under pressure in the midfield again. No, just do the easy work. You've done the hard graft, do the easy work when you've got there. Yeah, there is a point that on the weekend, Ben White was so much better supporting him, because that takes a little bit of pressure off him, because there's been games where we don't have a right back following him up, and he's got 3 or 4 defenders around him. So he's taken out of the game. Unless you're Lionel Messi, that ain't going to work. So we need to have more of Ben White or Tomiyasu supporting him, taking the pressure off. When he's in that final third, then he has to be given that support. Absolute facts, because the guy can't do it on his own. Now, what we did see at the weekend was a decent performance, not the best from Saka, but fair play to him. He's earned his medals in getting that pay rise, and well done to him, and I wish him all the best. And let's just hope that he develops a little bit more to actually get that final ball into the box. At times he fails, and I saw a lot of that on the weekend. It just was not good enough. But good luck to the young lad, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there's plenty of other players that need contracts. I mean, as Red United TV here says, Saliba and Martinelli. You know, Saliba, we have to get that deal done, and that is a massive criticism. I mean, we've all had for a long time is our, you know, we're not capable of doing things early. We always wait till the last minute, and it's annoying and frustrating because at the end of the day, Saliba can go as a free agent next year, and we've seen the difference he's made. You know, Saliba has been superb this season. Martinelli, just he doesn't stop all game. You see, all these players have all been standing out, and we've played excellent throughout this season already. And it is exciting to watch. I'm actually excited to go into the next game for once. This last season, I was full of dread. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like, banter club.
He did tell us all to be excited, didn't he?
He said, be excited. Be excited. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. We've got
it. It might take 4 years, but be excited. It took
Be
4 years.
excited, yeah.
Lee looks really in the mud there, Lee.
You're in the mud.
I'm buried, mate.
You're neck deep, mate. You're neck deep in the mud.
Mate, I have to put clothes on to do streams. I just literally sit here in shorts. I actually own, I think, one pair of jeans. That's it.
Well, you need it over here now, man. It's getting proper cold.
My mum and dad have just got to the boat at Calais, I think. Yeah, and they said the weather there is hammering down, like literally hammering down, and they've just got on the ferry. Yeah, and it's all like this. Crazy. I said, well, you shouldn't have gone. You should have stayed here for another month.
Yeah.
So we're all in the mud. We're all bathing in it. I'm enjoying the mud. You know, we're winning. We're top of the league. We're beating Spurs. You know, life's great in the mud over here, and you know,
it's almost like this is what we wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
God,
yeah, it's lovely. The sun's slowly going down over there. It's beautiful, man. My tan's lovely. Arsenal are top of the league. We're going to slap Bodo tomorrow. That's good.
Exactly. And believe it or not, people, we do actually have a game tomorrow. I do forget these Thursday games do throw me off a bit, but we are playing, and to be honest, I feel like it's going to be an easy win. I'm not too worried about it. I know we're not going to play any of the first team, and I'll be pretty annoyed if we did because we need to prepare for Liverpool, and we'll get onto that in a bit. I'm just going to go through a couple of the comments because they are flying in, and there's some really good questions in here somewhere, if I can find them. Where are we? It's right at the top. I like this one. It's down to KSC to protect and enhance Arsenal. Our protector, Stan Kroenke, who I haven't seen in years actually do anything in the club, but hey ho. That's another topic for another day. Saka needs a rest. Hey, no worries. You have Pepe as a backup. Oops, no, you don't. Exactly. We got rid of a perfectly good backup, sent him on his way. He barely played. He's technically gifted. It's almost like Arteta wanted us to fail. But don't worry.
We've got the pet project. He's the next Raheem Sterling, mate. Reece Nelson. He's back. He's back. He was the next Raheem Sterling when Arteta took over. He was the project. Well, let's see what he can do. Project Youth, exactly. He's only 22. He fits the bill, doesn't he?
There you go. Don't worry about the rest of the squad. Don't worry about it. We've got these players. We've got Nketiah. Who else do we need? We've got the number 14 role sorted. Don't worry about it. All is well. And we're top of the league. But the big question of the podcast today is, will it last very long? Me personally, I feel like a lot's going to shift. But all the top gooners are raging. They're raging on Twitter. Oh, we're going to win the league. I feel like we've got a chance. How many games are we in again? How many games have we actually gone? Who have we actually played? Wait till Man City, and then I'm sure they'll be back crying again in their basements, and we won't have to worry about it. So there we go.
The thing is, our squad, we've only got about 16 players.
Yeah.
So I said this to you guys the other day. I was like, we need to get to that World Cup without any injury, really. Or just a little 1 week injury, and that car that's just driven past, by the way. Oh my days! Yeah, it's the same color as Aubameyang's one, the fluorescent.
No, yeah.
Oh mate, what a car, Lamborghini! Oh my days! I don't know if you can hear it. Go on, roar it. Go on, son. Nah, he can't afford the fuel.
Have you got yours in order yet, Lee?
Huh?
Have you got yours in order yet?
No, I need a few more donations, mate, and then we can start talking. I see Terry bought a new i8 the other day. Is it i8? Yeah.
Yeah, Audi i8, yeah.
BMW, the one with the doors that swing up. I need to start streaming twice a day like Fluers. Do you know what I mean? But no, we've only, as I was saying, we've only got 16 players, which is cool. Yeah, like somebody said to me the other day, yeah, Man City have only got 16. The difference is they can sit Wilshere, they can sit Grealish and Mahrez on the bench. Yeah, we can't sit Saka and Martinelli on the bench.
Yeah.
Who are we putting in? Smith Rowe ain't there, and Reece Nelson's just coming back. Marquinhos ain't ready for Premier League. So, you know, it's all well and good having a short squad, a small squad, but we're in an extra competition now, which is probably going to help us this month because we can totally rotate the whole team. But when it comes into all them games coming thick and fast in the back end of next season or the middle, or when we come back from the World Cup, yeah, we need to get to that World Cup and hope and pray no one gets injured before or during that World Cup. Yeah, and then we get to January and come by 2 or 3 players, because otherwise I feel that there's going to be the capitulation coming again. So here's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, squad depth is a really big problem. We're 2 injuries away from failure, basically. If Partey goes out, which we know what Partey's like. I mean, he gets injured a lot, but when he does play, he's great, which is the problem. That's why it's so frustrating. And then Jesus as well. I mean, if we're stuck with Nketiah again, God knows what's going to happen, because we'll be a mess. We will be a mess. There's no attack. And I still can't give it like enough praise of Jesus. Like, I'm so happy we have him, because I don't see us without him now. That's the problem. And he's been contributing, and the things he does in squad. This guy does not stop. I've never seen someone that's literally just like this. If you look at a heat map, he's everywhere. And he's fast. He's dribbling on the ball is insane. It just like the ball glues to his feet. And yeah, he's just a fantastic player overall. And that's something I would want to see in a second striker in January also. I think January is a really key thing to touch on quick, because squad depth, massive problem. We still need a midfielder. We still definitely need a midfielder. That's crucial. And another striker, because for me, Nketiah doesn't cut it. No, I'm still annoyed at the fact that he's got number 14 on his back, because I don't feel like he deserves it. Like, you have to earn the right to wear that shirt. I'm going to ask you guys quick in January. Just give one position that is a must-have, and that if we don't, you don't see us getting top 4 next season. Well, this season, sorry. So, Jez, I'll start with you. We'll switch it up a bit.
Just one position?
One position. We'll go with one position.
One position we need. Priority then has to, I mean, I could name you 4, but one position we must protect is then striker.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, attacking power is key. You don't win goals from defend. You don't win games from defending. You have to score.
If Jesus gets crocked, I'm sorry, Nketiah is not the man to lead the front.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give you 4 positions that we need to strengthen, but with only that one option, then we've got to have a striker, because that's how you win win games. So without that, you're done basically. So that's my option. That's my answer to your question.
I mean, some people in the chat are saying goalkeeper even. I'm very confident in Ramsdale. I mean, I was like, in the beginning, I was like, who is this guy? Why have we bought him? And now, honestly, he gets in the squad every time. And, I don't want to be trusting Matt Turner anytime soon. I'm sure he'll make a lovely appearance tomorrow and we can see his skills. Lee, I'll come to you next. One position that you think is a must-have to achieve anything this season? Gosh.
A party cover.
Yeah,
I would say striker. Yeah, because I feel like we need, but I'm the same as Jez. I can name 4 positions. Like winger, goalkeeper backup that's better than him. Thomas Partey cover, right winger, striker. Right? But if I had to pick one, it's got to be somebody adequate enough to fill in for Thomas Partey, because El Neni ain't the guy, and neither is Sambi Lokonga. So yeah, for me, it's midfield.
Yeah, completely agree. Kenny, what are you going for?
You know what? I'm torn between a midfielder because I still think that, you know, losing Thomas Partey killed us in the running for the top four. However, goals with your games, and I have to agree with Jez. I want a variety striker. For instance, you know, it hasn't come to me notice, but has anyone heard of Vlahovic doing one as Juventus? Or, you know, maybe an Ivan Toney that, you know, a player that we all respect and like. You know, goals is going to be in the area because, you know, if Jesus gets injured, you know, we're going to need something different because as hard working as willing as Eddie is, right? Eddie is. He's not a top four striker. He's not a championship, you know, challenging striker. So you have to get someone else in. You know, by all means, pay him $100,000, but just remind him that, mate, you know, you're just a backup striker if you're really, really desperate. But if there's an opportunity to get someone in of huge quality, Arsenal Football Club got to go for him. So yeah, striker.
Yeah, fair enough. I think for me, priority wise, high on my priority list has got to be a midfielder because you can automatically tell the difference when Partey's not in the squad or when he goes off. Like against Spurs, when Lokonga came on, I was like, oh my gosh, our midfield's just disappeared because Xhaka's playing so high up the pitch now. It's basically Partey controlling the whole midfield in a lot of situations. So for me, if we do any business, it has to be that's the priority, and I want us to go and get a good, you know, backup option and not just go for a panic buy like Douglas Luiz. Like it's not going to happen. But we're going to move on because we do have a game tomorrow. We're going to briefly touch on it. Is a Europa League game, and you know, it's against a team that I actually have never heard of, to be honest. And that's not just me saying it. I've never heard of them. I don't know who they are, but apparently they're not too bad. But I feel like we'll beat them. I'm probably going to go with like a 4-0 win, I think, at home. We'll do the rounds. We'll do predictions because I want to touch on the Liverpool game, which I think is all in our minds because it's an anticipated game. So I'll start with you, Jez. What are your predictions for tomorrow's game?
I think it'll be pretty much a second string team Arsenal put out as we're at home. I'm going to go with a positive 3-0. I think there will be a couple of senior players on the bench in case we get in trouble, which I think we'll see Turner in goal tomorrow, which will be interesting. I only saw him in the pre-season game when we played a second division German team, and he looked bloody awful to me.
And against Zurich.
I didn't see. I didn't.
Oh, no, you was in France, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't see that game, but I mean, I can only go on what I saw. He didn't impress me one iota. So I think we'll have a pretty much second string team out. I've got absolute confidence at the moment that Arsenal will win that 3-0. Did you ask me about the Liverpool game?
No, we'll get onto that in a minute. And okay. Guess what, guys? We're predicting a win because it's Arsenal and we're going to win. Don't worry about it. Lee, your predictions for tomorrow against the team I have absolutely never heard of.
All right, well, they did slap Roma up last season, 6-1, I think.
I've heard.
But I think that was the only time they did beat them. I think they played them 4 times, twice in the group and then twice over 2 legs. And I think they got 1 win, 1 draw. Other than that, Jose got to the final and won it. So don't really matter, does it? But I think we'll batter them. You know, I think it'll be comfortable. 4-1. Yeah, walk in the park. 4-1.
Yeah. The thing is, it's because it's Matt Turner in goal. I'm tempted to say we'll concede, but I'm hopeful that Saliba, or I doubt he'll play actually, to be honest. We'll probably get some academy players in because our squad is so thin that we have to do that. But yeah, he might concede. Kenny, your predictions?
Look, the standard of the group stages of the Europa League over the years has been horrendous. So there's no need whatsoever to play a first 11. Play the second string. You know Rob Holding's going to play. You know Turner's going to play. Kieran will probably play. You know that right back's going to be Cedric. You know the midfield's going to be Albert. It's going to consist of Vieira. Marquinhos is going to play. Edward's going to play as well. So the team kind of picks itself. So that team is more than good enough to get a really good result and get us into the group. And it could be our Europa League / Carling Cup 11, and then obviously when we get to play better teams that are coming out of the Champions League, we may need our better players. But for now, going by what I saw a month ago now, and going by what I've been seeing over the years, we're going to win comfortably. You probably might need a pillow or a cup of Horlicks. When you're watching a bit of that. In fact, the game probably be sponsored by Horlicks anyway, because you're not going to get the levels of passion that you've got in the North London derby and the levels of passion you're going to get on Sunday. But I expect us to get 6 points, and I'll be very, very surprised if we even concede. I don't think the attacks of the teams we're playing in the Europa League are good enough to trouble our defence, even one with Rob Holding in.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think, I actually forgot there was a game tomorrow, because I am fully focused on Sunday for Liverpool. Now, it's been I've heard quite a lot of different opinions, to be honest. Some people are saying we could win it. Some people are saying we could draw. Or lose, potentially. This is Liverpool. We can't forget. Yes, they are sitting in 9th, I think, now, which is I haven't seen, I think, in my life. I don't remember anyway. Seeing Liverpool that far down the table, and that they've had some shocking performances, but we can't forget who they are. And I don't want to go in there completely confident and saying, oh well, they're 9th, we're 1st. We're going to win, we're going to smash them, because I don't think that's the case. I mean, look at the last time we played them. Arteta was playing We'll Never Walk Alone in the training grounds. Do you know what I mean? Let's hope he doesn't do that, please. On Saturday afternoon, if I see that, I know we're going to lose automatically. But it's going to be a tricky game. I think, anyway. I will say, though, I think this is a time, if we're going to beat Liverpool, this is the time to do it. But I also made the argument of it can be the same either way. If they're going to start to spur on their season, the odds of them doing it against us, pretty high. Beat the team that's the top of the league and spur that on. But who knows? It's a very unprecedented table. I haven't seen this. It's very odd at the moment. We'll go round though. So Lee, what are you thinking for the Liverpool game? Are you confident, or do you think it's going to be an uphill battle, even though we're at home?
I am kind of confident. I think we'll beat them. We'll beat them. I think the thing is, like they how they're going to play, and so many teams have sussed them this season. It's mad. Fulham rocked them. They got lucky to get a draw against Fulham. Then they've played Brighton at the weekend, and I watched the highlights. I haven't watched the full game, but I watched the highlights, and they were shocking. Trent and Van Dijk together is not the one. Yeah, really ain't. Van Dijk's fall off after that injury is mad. Yeah, and Trent just ain't good enough. Yeah, and people who are in the chat will be sitting there going, oh, but he scored a free kick last night. Who cares? Like, real talk, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, at the end of the day, he ain't a very good footballer. Yeah, and he ain't going to be on the plane. And that's an area we need to target. Martinelli are having him on strings. I remember last time we played him, Martinelli running ragged anyway. So Martinelli was on fire that night. Yeah, absolutely on fire that night. And we still got beaten. But it's a different Liverpool this season. They've got a lot of players that are now an extra year older in their 30s. Yeah, forget the ones, everyone's an extra year older, of course, but forget the ones that are in their 20s. The ones in their 30s, their whole midfield is 30 plus. The whole midfield. They've got Fabinho, Milner, Thiago. They're all not great at the minute. Yeah, and I think that the way we're playing with Jesus, I think he's going to cause them nightmares. Him and Martinelli down that left side. I wouldn't be surprised if Trent gets sent off. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised. And I think we will beat them. The problem is if you go too gung-ho against them, they will just destroy you on a counter. And Salah's rapid. Yeah, so you have to watch out for that. But I wouldn't be playing Zinchenko in this game. I'd be putting Tierney in there. Yeah, because Tierney would just kick Salah up in the air straight away. Yeah, he'll kick him up in the air in the first couple of minutes. The chances of getting booked in the first couple of minutes are very slim normally. I know that Dalot got booked in the first couple of minutes at Man City the other day, but very rarely do you get booked in the first couple of minutes. Yeah, we see it against Man United ourselves when Lissandro kicked Jesus up in the air. Got away with it. We see it the weekend. Jesus probably got away with about 2 or 3 in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, so, I think, older, not wiser. I think we'll beat them. I actually do think we'll beat them. But like you said, that if there's ever a game for them to spin their season, it's this.
Yeah.
But let's be real with this as well, by the way, because I think they're 11 points behind us, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
They're 11 points, or they're 8 points. Let me have a quick look.
11. I think it's 11.
Standings. They are on. Yeah, they're 11 points behind. So if we beat them, we're 14 clear of them, but they'll have a game in hand. That is a big gap after 9 games or 8 games for them. That is a massive gap. But it's Liverpool. They can win 17 straight games, 15 straight games, 12 straight games. Like they can just steamroll teams when they have to. Yeah, but I think it's going to be hard work, but I think we'll beat them. Yeah, and I'm expecting Jesus and Martinelli to run Trent ragged. And I think with Robertson down the other side, if he plays, he's too gung-ho. That guy's way out of position pretty much most of the time. I think Konate's back. I think he'll play. He's a good player. Or Matip, I think he's done pretty well. But yeah, if they go with with what they've been doing in the last couple of weeks, you've got to say Arsenal win, isn't it? Are they suddenly going to turn the switch and turn into the Liverpool last season? Probably not.
No, I know. I agree. I mean, I say a draw with a logical head. I mean, the players they have, the players we have, it's going to be a good game either way. And I'm actually looking forward to it.
Sorry to cut you off. There's 2 players we need to stop in that game. Yeah, Jota and Firmino. Yeah, they always score against us. And that Firmino, I've been telling people for a long, long time, that geezer is so underrated in the Premier League. It's mad. He is such a good footballer. Yeah, this season he's had a good start. But I don't think we're going to see Darwin Noodles. I think we're going to be seeing Firmino up front. Yeah, linking the play like the old front three. Obviously, Mane's not there anymore, which is a big miss for them, by the way. I think they are totally lost without Mane in that team going forward because Diaz just ain't the guy. Yeah, they should probably go with. If I was Klopp, I'd go with Jota on the left, Firmino up front, Salah on the right. Yeah, because Jota's so good, that he can interchange positions, and so can Firmino. Yeah, Salah ain't going nowhere. He's just going to hug that touchline and try and whip a shot in. But yeah, they're the 2, especially Firmino. Yeah, although Jota's got an amazing record, but if he goes Firmino up front, that's the link. Just stop the ball going to him.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen his record against us. I mean, he does love a goal or 2 or 3 against us. So you never know what could happen. And it's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to the game. Because the atmosphere at the moment that the fans are creating, we're all on a high. Because we're playing so well. And I can't praise the team enough. And I've enjoyed watching us play, apart from Man United. I've enjoyed watching us play throughout the season, and I hope we continue to play like that. Jez, I'll come to you next. What are you thinking for Liverpool? Are you excited? Do you think we could win? What are you thinking?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm seeing this as a 2-1 Arsenal win. I think the mood at the club at the moment is at the absolute max, which is what we want to see. And the players look confident, they look content, they're happy with the game plan, whatever that is. So yeah, I'm going 2-1. It's going to be tight knit. It's going to be nervous because we know how we can be against Liverpool. Liverpool are one of these bloody teams, aren't they? They can be absolute pony and suddenly switch the light on.
Yeah.
Totally agree with Lee's comments there. Firmino and Jota, they've got to be taken out of the game. Our defenders against Tottenham, I thought, did excellent with Son and Kane. They didn't really offer a lot. We need to do the same against these fellas if they play, which I'm sure they will. I have every confidence in this. I really do. I was having a conversation earlier today, but you're overconfident. You're overconfident. You know it's like Liverpool, blah blah. Well, yeah, I'm confident because what I'm seeing from Arsenal right now, I'm enjoying. I'm loving it. This is what we want. This is what, as Arsenal fans, we want to see. So I'm going for it. I'm going 2-1.
No, strong argument there, Kenny. What are you thinking? Are you going? I'm guessing you're going to the game, and
Yes.
it's going to be
I'm
a great
going tomorrow
atmosphere.
as well. I'm going tomorrow
Nice.
and I'm going to the game as well on Sunday. But the thing about it is that, thank God Mane's not there because, I just think that some people, when they bigged up Salah, it was complete misunderstanding of who was the main man at Liverpool and how great a player is, because we've seen with our own very eyes, Liverpool actually can cope without Salah, but they can't cope without Mane. Mane was the team. You know how we say that Partey's Arsenal system? Well, Mane was that system they're playing. So I'm ecstatic that he's not there. And I just hope that Liverpool in midfield play Henderson, Thiago and Harvey Elliott, because that's a nice little attacking team that I'll be thinking, yeah, brilliant, because that way we'll be able to get past that press, because that press won't be able to press, because I think what Liverpool are doing a lot, they're playing a lot of attacking midfielders, and the reason why they struggle in these games is because the teams are walking past that press because it's non-existent. Mane was part of that first press. So that's an area again that we could definitely attack. We don't even have to go down the wings. We just could walk past them if they play that team. And that way we can run at Van Dijk. One of the things we do have to worry about from Liverpool, though, is set pieces from Arnold. You can talk about his lack of defending, but one of the reasons why he became a top player, we didn't care about his defending. We cared about his delivery from set pieces, and we cared about his crossing and his dead ball expertise. So that's going to be an area that's still going to be dangerous. You only have to see the game against Rangers. Got to worry about that. I'm glad that Robertson ain't playing, because Tsimikas, in terms of that final cross, he's not a Robertson, so please hope he doesn't play. And obviously, as well as both Lee and Jez says, Jota. One of the things that worries me is he's got a very good record against us home and away, and the thing that he's very good at as well, he spins away every defender. So Saliba needs to watch that, the way Jota spins and gets into the box, and he's very alert in the box, and he can make big runs. And then get on that left foot. Don't let him get on that left foot, right foot header. Not the biggest, but he's got all the finishes. So he needs to be really, really careful, because when that ball goes in the box, he's even I'll say it, and it's probably like extraordinary, but in that box he's probably a better finisher than Salah, because he's just that clinical. Whilst Salah's got he's got the individual skill and he loves a penalty and everything. So still a dangerous side. But if we win the midfield battle, then I could see us winning about 1 or 2-0, because we are playing that well and defending that well as a team. But one thing Arsenal showed against Man United is that up there, because we're playing well, we've had a few hammerings from Liverpool, Man City, and we've been terrible at Man United away. So mentally, we've got to forget about the hammerings, because let's face it, we haven't beaten them in about 2 years, and the seasons after they've done the double over us and done it pretty comfortably. So got to wipe out those memories, wipe them out. We wipe that out, we win the game. But if we still have those areas where they're attacking us, they go a goal up, that's my main concern.
Yeah, I mean, counter-attacking is a massive flaw in us at the moment, because teams are leaking through really easily. But, I may change to see me and my predictions. I like to predict when I see the starting lineup, because I don't know what it could be, what might be, who's playing for them. So that's when I do a solid prediction. But I think at the moment, my head says 1-1, my heart says 2-1 to Arsenal. So we'll see. It's going to be a good game. I'm confident for tomorrow overall. I think we're going to wrap it up here, because we have been going for nearly an hour. I'm starting to lose my voice, and I have
really quick.
It's gone quick. It's easy. All time flies when you're having fun. So big up to everyone in the chat as well. There's been about 90 people watching for the whole hour, and some people I see all the time in every video in here as well. So big up to all of you, keeping it going. if you are new though, please do hit that subscribe button. We are about 45 away from 1K, so very exciting. A lot is coming up. I think on Friday I'm on Diesel's channel, and Sunday there may be a watch along as well. There won't be any fan cams from me tomorrow because I have other commitments, unfortunately, tomorrow that I can't get out of. But it is what it is. But I will be doing just before I go on Diesel's channel tomorrow. On Friday there'll be like a half an hour show around about 5:30 on my opinions on the game, and then of course we move on to Sunday, which is fan cams and all of that. And I know me and Jez, we've been planning behind the scenes of some good shows to come, especially around Christmas time, which will be very funny, that we have in mind. So it's going to be good. Please make sure you go subscribe to Arsenal History and More. Follow Kenny Ken on Instagram. And of course, we all know Lee Gunner. If you're not subscribed, well, you're living under a rock, really, aren't you? So please go check everyone out. But thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a great show.
No, thanks for having me on. This is the first time I've been on.
Yeah, this is first one.
First time I've been on. There you go.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yes. No, it's always good fun though. It's always good fun when us four get together, and it's contrasting opinions. I'm very young. We've got a range of ages across that have seen many games, and all of us combined.
4 generations.
4 generations, literally.
Yes. Literally 4 generations.
Literally. And I'm sure between all of us, we've seen a lot and covered a lot of games. So it's incredible. But yeah, that's it from me. I'm going to play the outro because I do love this outro so much. So big up to CMO for
I'll get it in early.
Doing it for me. You're going to say I'll tear out. I'm going to say, come on, you Gunners. And
he's not the right man still.
Yeah, trust it.
We're out of here.
The club's a star.
Shoppers better took those risks. Go out of my fist, we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. All the kind of feeling that I won't see now.
We're in the middle. Perez joining him. In it goes towards Olivier Giroud. Not about strike. What a goal that was. Chilean takes. Oh!